Hey everybody, this is Jason, and this is another version of Off the Cuff. So far I've been mostly talking about new albums or like specific artists and things like that. And today I'm going to break into the vault a little bit. I'm not sure. I just listened to this album not long ago. I saw that they released like a 30th anniversary edition of this with a bunch of concerts support. And it is the classic Nirvana Nevermind album. And hopefully, none of these super conservative people will get mad at me for showing the baby's penis. That's right, the baby's penis, which I am now covering with my finger. Because, oh my god, that would be the worst thing in the world if somebody saw a baby's penis. I don't know whatever happened with that lawsuit thing that they had with the supposedly the kid that was the cover kid on this head was suing Nirvana for child porn or whatever the crap was. And it's so stupid. I didn't even pay attention to it. But anyway, I want to talk about this album. It's 30 years old. I listened to this again not that long ago, but the thing about it is the immediate thing that you gather from this album when you listen to it. It doesn't sound 30 years old, you know. It kind of makes me feel old because this is an album that actually came out while I was a teenager, and now we're talking about it being 30 years old, which means, how old am I now that, it's a 30-year-old album, which isn't exactly super exciting for me. But I mean, this is a great album. It turned the world of music on its head for a little while. It encouraged some bands that were a little bit musically, exploratory and a little bit more radical musically to kind of show up in the scene in America for a while, which was nice. Some people call Nirvana America's punk, but punk did exist in America before Nirvana. Nirvana was influenced by punk. Matter of fact, Pat Smear, who played guitar with Nirvana and still plays guitar with the Foo Fighters, was in one of the seminal LA or LA punk bands, the Germs. And, so there's obviously a punk heritage there. There's no doubt about that. But songs like "Smells Like Teen Spirit" is a masterpiece. I mean, there's just no other way to describe it. The use of dynamics, the anger, the frustration, the drumming, the guitar tones, the whole bowl of wax. It's a great album. The production is fantastic for that time of web. Butch Vig, who also is associated with Garbage among other things, and has helped produce the Better Foo Fighter records, is also involved with this. Come As You Are. I mean, how can you not like that? Come As You Are. I like when he does the guitar solos that basically are a paraphrase of the verse. So he's doing the guitar solo, but what he's really playing in Come As You Are is just the vocal melody. He's just doing it on the guitar for the solo. Come as you are. Anyway, I love that. I love, songs like Territorial Pissings, Breed, Lithium, Polly, On a Plane, Something in the Wave. These are just great songs. This is a great album. It just drips with energy. The really simple dynamic that Nirvana used with the punchy, heavy chorus and the quiet verses, where they use that change in volume to really punch home a point, which at that time people were kind of moving away from. Dynamics, which is the process of changing from loud to quiet in a song, in popular music, kind of doesn't exist that much. And that's really a shame because that's a really great way to distinguish a point. Like, one of the reasons why I love The Who is they're great at dynamics. Like, for instance, Bargain by The Who is it gets really loud and powerful, and then it drops down to just a single acoustic guitar. It's stuff like that. And this Nirvana is kind of punch in the jaw when they want to hit you with the power of the music, and they kick into that higher gear, and they just, and Grohl gets going, and Novoselic gets the bass pounding and everything like that, and it gets really intense, We love that. I mean, that's why Nirvana's great, and a lot of the other bands that came out of that scene, like Pearl Jam and Soundgarden and Stone Temple Pilots, and that was a nice little era of rock music where a lot of cool bands were given an opportunity to express themselves. Now, once again, when they tried to get more commercial with it and they brought in bands like Creed, who were a lot more formula with it, they kind of ruined it. But we had a nice era there where we had some good, cool music inspired by a lot of bands, and that Seattle scene was a nice scene to have good music come out of. So I was happy about that. Everyone should be happy about that. You know, we're in some ways we're kind of waiting for the next scene to emerge. Even in my little world, in the early 90s, we had a little bit of a alternative rock scene in my little town in Iowa where I'm from, and I was part of that scene. And we were drawing from songs from like modern songs, like we were doing a cover of Come As You Are and Heart Shaped Box at one point in time. And I was doing like Stooges songs and, you know, uh, White Light, White Heat by the Velvet Underground, and these original songs that were written by my dad, of all people, and we were doing like kind of a weird combination of like more punk, but with a little bit of like the old Pink Floyd psychedelic kind of thing, and it was kind of a good time. In a weird way, I wasn't really, aware enough of what I was doing at that time to really appreciate it, if you know what I mean. I Now that I'm older and I'm more aware of the music that I was pulling the resources from and things like that, it almost means more to me looking back on it than it does while I was in the heat of the moment. But and Nirvana is definitely part of that. Nostalgia does have a purpose in music. Because music can remind you of a certain time and certain place. The only thing that I try to discourage is, don't let nostalgia make something that wasn't that great seem better than it is. In the case of Nirvana, though, I don't feel that. I listen to this album, it still sounds great. It's still a great album. Nirvana is a seminal rock band, and even though they didn't last very long, those couple of albums that they released are great albums with great songs, and Kurt Cobain is definitely missed. I will say that the Foo Fighters have made their own contribution, but if I was going to trade for, what the Foos have given us versus a few more Nirvana albums, I would probably take the few more Nirvana albums. Sorry, Dave. I mean, you're not. Don't get me wrong. I like you, Dave. You're like one of the most likable guys in rock music, but I'll take the Nirvana albums. Anyway, I think that's going to wrap it up for today. Have a great Thanksgiving, everybody, and I will look forward to seeing you next time, okay?